with everything frozen. Now seems like the perfect time to have a little stop, look, and listen. A visit with our friend Roy Spencer, president of Perma Basement Systems. Roy, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning.
All right, so I've had the personal experience of how destructive water running through your home can be. The destruction of ice melting and attacking, your foundation and your seals and stuff like that. What should people be thinking about when the thaw comes?
Well, even now, we're getting a lot of calls with people with frozen sump pump discharges. So,
right.
Just a few days ago, it was raining, and then it snowed, and then it got real cold. Well, deep in the ground, below 4 feet, the ground's 55 degrees. There's plenty of water around your foundation as the snow melts. There's deep in the ground, and that water runs to the sump pit, and then the sump pump wants to run. Well, if that discharge is frozen, the pump will run, but it can't throw the water out. Then the pump burns itself out. You can end up with a flooded basement. Here we are with 4 below zero, and your basement could still flood. So you really want to make sure that your sump pump discharges are clear and not frozen.
Well, how do you do that?
Well, you look at it, and if your discharge is, you may have gotten away with it during the summer and the fall, and water is just pumping out onto the yard. But as that water builds up in the pipe, it starts to freeze. And so it may have been working up to now, but now it's frozen solid. And so you just need to check it. And you should always be checking your sump pump and just make sure it's mechanically work. We have something called the Basement Defender that will test it every day for you. But so if you don't want to test it every day, that's fine. But give us a call. We'll be glad to check out your sump pumps because it's not front of mind. Everybody's trying to stay warm right now, and we have a new insulation service. We can help them with that as well. But as far as water, the big thing is making sure your sump pump's working.
What's the insulation service?
Well, we've launched a new attic insulation. We've been doing foundation, basement, waterproofing, basement crawl space insulation. But now we're up in the biggest source of energy loss, which is the attic. So most people right now, they're feeling like, I'm not certain my home is well insulated. They don't know. Or they think, my utility bill seems higher than it should be. We all feel that way, I'm sure. So what we do now is we actually test your home. We can determine exactly how much air leakage and inefficient your insulation is using a blower door test. And using thermal cameras, we can identify the source of that. And more often than not, the big culprit is the attic. That's the biggest energy loss in your home.
And if you find Bryan Cranston hiding in my attic, then you would take him out. I mean, did you ever see that movie Wakefield? Remember Bryan Cranston, Jennifer Garner? He's hiding in the attic. No, you haven't seen that. All right, you're probably too busy working, but yeah, check that out.
Vermin,
yeah,
if we find any other vermin or insects, we will advise you at least about that.
Now, you've been around for 45 years, and tell people how you started your company in your basement and also working out of your F-150.
Yeah, exactly. Out of my one-bedroom apartment and my F-150 pickup truck, working by myself. That was 45 years ago, and I'm really proud and happy to say 45 years later, not only still standing, but we've helped over 500,000 Chicagoland homeowners make their homes healthier and more valuable. And so obviously our company has grown from one truck to over 100 trucks now and over 200 employees. But, we're quite proud and happy about that. And to celebrate the event, during January, we're offering 10% off on all of our services, including our new attic insulation service, but waterproofing, sump pumps, everything we do, even concrete raising. We're offering 10% off if they'll call by January 31st and get the estimate. Even if we don't do the work till spring, they'll still qualify for this sale. Or they can get up to 24-month interest-free.
Is there, other than the sump pump freezing, like you were saying, you can still flood, is there other things associated with this sort of extreme cold that everyone is experiencing that people should be cognizant of?
Well, I guess just it's a little late to disconnect your hoses and things that should have been done in the fall. You'll probably deal with that in the spring, but just be aware as things thaw of checking around in the basement because cracks may have gotten worse. They start leaking with the thaw because again it'll thaw before the ground gets before the outside temperature gets above freezing. And deep in the ground, it's already thawing out. So you can still get seepage and be checking for plumbing leaks and burst pipes. So the water always ends up in the basement, even pipes upstairs and bedroom upstairs. Water runs down through the wall, it could end up in the basement. So it's a good idea that they always check around down there and for any moisture.
Yes, I have a frozen pipe. So that's not fun, and I don't know if you can insulate that thing. But talk about your crawl space encapsulation, because somebody just texted in. They wanted to know exactly what that is.
Yeah, it's a great service, a great time of year to do that. So if you've got a dirt or gravel crawl, what that means is all the moisture and gases and insects and everything that lives in the ground has direct access in your home. And it comes up through that soil, and it brings moisture and gas, which causes mold and humidity. But that air continues on up into your home. It's being sucked up through the attic vents, actually, all the way through the house. And so that's not a healthy thing. So what we can do is we come in and make sure the crawl space is dry first, and then we put a liner. It's like almost like a pool liner, 20 mil thick, so it won't tear or puncture. It's bright white, and we line the floor and the walls and all the way around the crawl space. And so you're going to end up with a transformed space. A lot of people wouldn't go down in their crawl space on a bet. All of a sudden you can use it for storage. So it's valuable, clean, healthy space. So it's a great project to tackle this winter.
Did you ever see that movie, Crawl Space, with Henry Thomas? Elliot from E.T.? It's a bit of a horror flick, so it may not be your speed, but, just saying.
I got to start a movie list here, Dan.
Well, you get some downtime. You want to relax and just sort of, bed rot and have some, enjoy some bread and circuses.
So things hiding in our attics and crawl spaces.
Yeah,
Nice.
Exactly.
You
No,
pick
they're
the creepy
scary
places
places.
of the
I mean,
house,
this is right. This is why people hire Permaseal, because they're not intrepid enough to go into their own crawl spaces or attics, because you just don't know.
Our guys are just that, and they're really tight, uncomfortable spaces. But there's important work that needs to be done in there, and our guys are equipped and trained to do it.
Speaking of that, I was going to ask you, since you've been in the market for 4 decades, as you were describing, what is the employment situation? Are a lot of small to mid-sized companies struggling to find workers still? And I know we've, from conversations we have with you before, a lot of your guys are longtime employees, which is a good testament to your company. But as you grow, are you still having those growing pains of trying to find the workers that you need to service all the clients?
Well, that's a continual battle, always has been, trying to find good quality people who, share our core values and things like that. But in general, the job market, quite frankly, this last year has been better for employers. Mm-hmm. It seems like some businesses have been driven out of business, some are downsizing. There's a lot of uncertainty out there. So that frees up a lot of labor. People are looking for jobs and gives us a bigger pool to draw from. So we're fortunate that way. But because we're growing, we expanded our services and stuff, we're always looking for good people, whether it's installers, customer service people, salespeople, all the gamut. So we have on our website, permaseal.net, there's an employment section, and strongly encourage anybody who's either looking for work or looking for maybe a better opportunity to check us out.
He is Roy Spencer, the president of Permaseal Basement Systems. The website again, Roy, is?
Permaseal.net.
All right. Roy, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And please be sure to have people call by January 31st. Take advantage of that 10% off on all of our services. Don't want to miss out on that savings, okay?
Right. Thank you. And the number to call is 800-421-SEAL, 800-421-7325. And Mr. Spencer joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
It's a new year, and that means New Year's resolutions. Hi, Amy Jacobson here. And if one of your New Year's resolutions was to do more to help others, then we want to let you know that you still have the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of children in Latin America and the Caribbean through Food for the Poor. Your donation of just $80 provides food for an entire year for 2 children. That's life-changing. Just because the Christmas season is over, that doesn't mean that the need has gone away. Food for the Poor is a faith-based organization that works with partners on the ground to make sure these children are fed. You know, we talk a lot about the root causes of our immigration crisis,